This
What
conference
we
will
can do
now be
is
recorded.
we can take a brief intro about yourself, right? So that would really help me to give a little bit of insight about yourself, right? Like, I don't want much, right? What's your name? Then, are you working? Are you a student? Like, are you trying to switch to the technology? Like, why are you passionate about learning DevOps, right? A basic thing. It's all your comfort zone, right? However you want to proceed. Okay. Anyone can take the lead, right? Anyone who would like to proceed? Yeah, Shubham, I see
Yeah, I can
unmuted, right?
start. Hey, my name
Yeah.
is
Hi,
Shubham.
Shubham.
Yeah, I'm currently working for like about 2 years, and I'm planning to switch to DevOps. I'm still working for a space company, and I make in-house softwares for them, but I'm just kind of tired of them, so I'm trying to do something different.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for the intro. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to go?
Hey, hi,
Yeah,
myself
hi.
Anil.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure,
sure.
go ahead.
Yeah, Neil, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah, hi, myself Anil, and I'm working for Anthem. Okay, I'm currently doing performance engineering. Okay, and I want to brush up my AWS skills and just to give my like in the sense understand the concepts better and do my AWS certification. Okay, that's my main objective here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, anyone can take the lead, right? So anyone would
Yeah,
like
hi.
to?
Yeah, hi. This is Sai. So I'm in my last semester of my master's.
Okay,
So I'm trying to get into AWS, do the certifications
okay,
and all the necessary things to grab a job.
okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone would like to go? Okay, feel free. Feel free. Like, reason this I started this because so that we can keep more interactive, right? You should be comfortable with me to ask any kind of queries you have. So go ahead. Shrikant, I saw you unmuted. If you want to go, go ahead.
Yes, yes, hi. Yeah, this is Srikanth, and I'm having nearly 10 years of IT experience. Currently, I'm planning to switch my technology and to get started with my career in AWS DevOps.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello all, my name is Rahul. Currently, I'm on end of my master's. So this is the first time I'm attending a AWS course, and I have 7 years of work experience in non-IT field. So I'm looking forward to learn AWS. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Anyone would like to go?
Hi,
Hi.
uh, this is Anil. Uh,
Oh,
see, I've got H1B processing actually, it has got processed. So I'm looking for a job in US actually. So Kondal Rao has suggested to follow this. Actually, I came out of this software field 13 to 15 years. So I was looking for, so I was in a different field. I was into hotel sector and I was into a non-IT sector. But earlier I used to work uh, so now I'm looking for a career in software. So I've got quite a less experience in software actually, that too in Java programming. Hello, hello.
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, yeah, great. That's great, right? So fine.
Yes,
Like it's not mandatory that like there's no compulsion anywhere that someone is from non-IT, non-IT and cannot go to IT, right? Everyone has a right to move to IT field. Everyone should get a fair chance to prove themselves and have a great career in the IT world. So all the best. Wish you all the best for that. Thank you. Anyone would like to go? We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes more and then I'll proceed. Okay. Okay. Fine. Uh, Fine. So before I begin, right? Before I begin, so myself, Sagar. Okay. I am the trainer for this course where I teach AWS and DevOps. Okay. I have total 10 plus years of experience in industry where I have worked on AWS DevOps and various tools of DevOps. Okay, and I've worked with different migrations of DevOps. Okay, companies with Wipro, Infosys, TCS, PayPal. Okay, Mastercard. I'm currently working with Mastercard. Okay, and I'm also a corporate trainer where I provide trainers training for different consultancies. Like I provide training for outside institutes. Then I also train within my company where I provide the different workshops with people, right? So I plan all the workshops for the DevOps AWS training uh, along with your different project requirements, right? It's not only about training. Also, I work at the architect level where I provide the complete end-to-end design for a team when they start their new project. So that's a short intro about myself. Okay, so let me share my screen. So will not start with demo immediately. I will take first 15 minutes to explain what are we going to or how we are going to start a journey of DevOps from here. Then we'll jump into our demo area. Okay. Okay, so this would be today's agenda. Okay, like we'll start with DevOps overview, then we'll go to cloud computing. Okay, then we'll speak about the industries, like what is our scope of job. Because when we have come to this course, you should at least know how long I'll survive with this technology. It's not that one you learn it for 3 months, 6 months, you put effort for next 4 years, you work for that technology, suddenly the technology goes down in the market and no one is using that technology. Then what is the use of that? So you should understand that in real time where my DevOps and AWS will fit. Okay, and what is my chances of surviving in the industry for next 20, 30 years. Okay, and how much scope is there for me to grow my career as well as accelerate all the career objectives in this world of DevOps. Okay, fine. So before that, like most of the people have seen, right? They have one query in their mind. Hope you guys are able to see my screen, right? So wherever you feel something, you have a query, you can unmute yourself and start asking me the questions. Okay, because let's keep more interactive. That gives a good session, right? We will have a good session where we can speak openly and we can clarify all our doubts. So very prerequisite of this course is having a little bit of time and patience because you're moving to IT world very first, right? So when you're moving to IT world, definitely you require some patience. Okay, patience is the key here. Okay, it's not because you'll get frustrated or something, not like that. It's just a patience. Okay, it's just patience. Why? You'll get to know as part of the course and basics of DevOps, because we are working on the infrastructure, we are working on the cloud. Okay, we are working on the DevOps tools which are built. Okay, which are built on different platforms, but mostly industries prefer the Linux platform. Reason of Linux platform, because it is more secure, it is more fast, and it is more reliable for the people to use this platform. Okay, and little bit of shell scripting to do your automation. Okay, it's not company asks us to do automation, it also helps a day-to-day life of a DevOps engineer. Okay, and it provides a lot of time for him to uh, take up different tasks and explore new things if you can automate few things. And then anyone, okay, anybody who is passionate, okay, to start a career as a DevOps engineer can attend this program. There is no hard restriction. And moving forward, like there are some academies, there are some institutes, there are some universities who are planning to have a DevOps as a long term course. Okay, and also this is going to be part of your college syllabuses moving forward, because world is moving towards cloud. Okay, and just cloud cannot enough handle, definitely you require a DevOps, because DevOps is a base for anything. Any product you launch today, any product you launch, DevOps is a base. So mandatory is DevOps is required for any university. Okay, companies are looking for people who are good trained in DevOps, having a matured skills in DevOps along with the cloud technology. And one thing to clarify, there is no programming. No programming in a sense, we are not going to write any kind of a coding. Okay, we don't have any kind of a coding, we're not going to use any Java, we're not going to use any .NET. Okay, that is a developer's work. Our developers will write this code, we are not going to worry about any of this code. Okay, we are responsible for the infrastructure management resources, and as well as the DevOps tools, where how an application can be maintained, or how the application can be automated via these DevOps tools. All your deployments, all your building part, okay, how do you maintain your storages, all this is part of our work. And who are eligible for this? Anyone who is passionate is eligible, non IT, IT, anyone. Okay, we will tell you here how you can convert your experience into from IT to non IT. Okay, it's all in your hand, right? No one knows what is your background until you tell. So how do you change your mindset and everything? We'll come back to this. DevOps with AWS course outline. Okay, introduction to DevOps world. Then we'll speak about Linux administration, DevOps tools, AWS cloud engineering, interview guidance. Okay, this would be a part of our agenda. Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, just a moment. Hey, sorry for that. Fine. So next area for us, okay, is your how we are going to start your modules. So this is the planning of the module which will be happening. Okay, right after this is your course overview. Like your Linux administration will start, because we need to have that platform, because future is on Linux, complete future is going on Linux, and it is become mandatory for us to learn Linux. Okay, and that is where we have put a very good course where we're covering a huge tools, among the huge packages, use all the complete package of Linux administrations cover here, so that you can get a proper idea for tomorrow. If you want to troubleshoot, you want to automate something, you can do this one. Okay. Then it's not only teaching your subject, it's also testing your knowledge. That makes more important. So we have brought such a thing where it's not that you complete your project, at the end we do one project and leave it. No, it's between like all, like you do a 5 6 tools, and after 5 6 tools you try to integrate that and makes one small project. Okay. Like every tool you do, like first 2 tools you learn, then how do you integrate, or how do you talk to each other, these tools, right? So that integration is important. Okay, how one tool can interact with other tool, that is important. So likewise, whenever we start our tools, after 4 5 tools we start integrating. Like after, let's suppose one tool is get integrated, we started. So likewise we started this project one, where we wanted like complete maven. Tomorrow what happens, let's suppose in your company, due to some issue, your automation is not working, then how do you still proceed with your DevOps work? Because company will not stop. Okay, product should not stop in the, when the product is in the live and you have a delivery date in very near. Okay, you have to deliver the product however you want. But in such cases, when your automation is not working, how do you still deliver the product? So when that is important, right? So how do you manually work, or how do you work with the legacy system? That is important. So we have planned that designing of this courses, and then we have given a different ways. Like every time a tool adds, we start integrating to a pipeline, because in one go the pipeline never builds. In one go you can't build the complete project, it takes time, right? So that is the reason when we start a course, as in the middle of the course we'll start building a project, and the end we'll make sure we build a good pipeline, a good project, where we can see a fruitful result. There is where this is designed for a complete, even your infrastructure is designing, will be drawing your design. Okay, we'll be designing the architects of these projects. Each and every project we do it, first we'll be doing a diagram, we'll be understanding what we are doing here, and then we'll proceed. Fine. And fine, so this is about your a basic overview about how we're going to proceed. Any clarity, guys, before I go to the course content? Any doubts anyone have? Anyone have any kind of a doubts? Please feel free to raise any queries. I will
Sagar,
hop.
I
Yes. Yes.
have doubts regarding what
Yes.
is cloud and what is AWS.
See, cloud. Okay, cloud is a data center. Okay, people who are maintaining the data centers, they previous, I'll come back to that. For that also we have explanation, but I'll just give a
Okay.
brief to you.
Yeah, yeah.
See, cloud is nothing but a data center only. Previously,
Okay.
every company needs to
Okay.
maintain its own data center. Data center is nothing
Okay.
but a building, a room where you keep all your infrastructure, like machines, your firewalls, your routers, which is a separate room, because there is where your complete
Okay.
data application is running. So what happened when people had a lot of difficulty in maintaining this infrastructure, because you need to buy that machines, hardwares are very costly, maintaining the software licenses, then additional skill is required for maintaining the data center. You require an electrician, you require a labor, you require a security, you require a camera, a lot of things are there. So to avoid this budget, what happened, like vendors like AWS, Microsoft, then there are something called Rackspace, DigitalOcean, IBM people, they brought the concept of a cloud. What they told, we will deliver the infrastructure, you just use our infrastructure. So there is where this cloud technology came. Under this cloud technology, your AWS is part of one. Okay, one of the cloud is AWS. So cloud is
Okay.
nothing but again a data center only, but only thing, someone is providing you as a service, instead of you maintaining your own building, maintaining your own infrastructure, all that things, right? All the groundwork which you're doing, instead of you doing the groundwork, someone else is doing the groundwork for you for the infrastructure maintenance, and you are using as a service. That means
Okay.
you're buying that is a rented, and you're using that, and you're paying for what you're using. That's it. You don't have to have a headache of maintaining the building, having the hardware resources, maintaining your labors, then your electricity maintenance, your cameras, your security, nothing, right? So someone's
Okay.
location, the data center is located, and that service provider, the AWS service provider, Azure service provider, your GCP service provider, or any other service provider is giving you the service over the internet. You don't need to go to
Okay.
data center, you just need to use it over the browser. Okay, without minimum laptop support, right? A minimum of browser is required, Chrome browser, where you put your effort. I got
Okay.
a little bit of idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you in
And
depth of that.
okay.
Yeah,
And what is AWS?
AWS is a cloud provider. It's a cloud provider
Oh,
who provides us the services over the internet. So someone is
okay. But
maintaining AWS is a company. So this Amazon company which is there, right? Amazon company. These people are, they have created the data centers in different regions, and they are offering us the cloud services where you can use the
okay.
infrastructure. Okay,
Okay.
AWS is a cloud provider. He's a cloud
Oh,
provider, service provider, right? Who is selling his, who is maintaining a data center and is selling the services to the people. Okay, with some
okay.
subscription level. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other queries, guys? Before I go to the agenda. So, okay. So this is our agenda. Okay. This is our agenda where we'll be starting with a DevOps overview. Why again DevOps overview? Reason is that tomorrow when you go to a company, when you have a, even if you're a fresher or if you're an experience of 3+ years or a 5+years, where you move to a team lead position or a manager position, so you should have an idea of how this DevOps came into picture. And tomorrow if a new tools come into your company, in your project, how do you make sure you fit that tool in which location? So that is a basic is important, because you should understand first what is DevOps, where DevOps fits in the industry, and what is your work. Okay, what is your role over there? All these things are important. Okay, what are the different teams you're going to work, what is the work, how do you manage your work? That is important, because understanding first DevOps is important, then moving on to the tools is important. Okay, then we will learn about the operating system level, which is your Linux. Okay, because you might, guys might be more comfortable with your Windows. Now same thing, how do you perform in the Linux? So we have an in-depth of Linux. Then we'll be starting with the uh, shell scripting part. Then we'll be coming to your DevOps tools. We'll be starting with the GitHub. Then you have Maven, Nexus, SonarQube, okay, Jenkins. Then we have the Ansible, okay. Ansible is very in depth. Then we start with the Tomcat for your deployment purpose. Then we have a Docker and Kubernetes, which is the most trending technology in the market, okay, where people are running behind this Docker and Kubernetes to optimize the cost, okay. Then we have your cloud engineering, okay, where we will be learning about in depth of your cloud, okay, your networking area, your computes area, okay, your security, then all your load balancers, how do you manage your hard disk, like hard disk, your CPU, RAM, memory, how do you increase it, okay, how do you attach a disk, detach a disk, how do you launch a static websites, okay, then your snapshots, okay, how you take the backups and restore, identity access management, right, how do you perform the command line activities, then your storage, how do you store, okay, how do you launch a website without any infrastructure, serverless, okay. Then we'll speak about the auto scaling, okay, how do you perform little bit of, let's suppose in the live systems we don't know how much load is going to come on the website, so how the infrastructure will scale automatically, okay. Then your route 53, okay, route 53, so how do you launch your own website, how do you register a website, okay, all these things we'll be doing it. Then there are some little bit bonus topics like Terraform, because industry is demanding today Terraform, so we'll be starting Terraform. Then we'll be learning about the logging, how do you do your monitoring, okay, how do you manage your monitorings, how do you manage your log management, okay, because this will add lot of weightage to your profile, okay. And finally once this is done, we start our interview process. We'll give you an overview of how to prepare a resume, how to put your real-time scenarios. We have a documentation where we every time we come across some scenarios, we add to that documentation, and we give you one interview questions and scenario based, so that you can check your knowledge now, because so much you have after covering this course, now it's time for checking your knowledge, right, along with the projects, whatever the projects you have done. Now how do you crack a scenario? Because the answer will be same, but the interview will ask the questions, okay, in a different way. The answer is same, okay, we know the answer is same, but he will ask the questions in different manner. So how do you identify, or how do you logically think about that scenario, right? So that thing will cover it. Then interview questions. Then most important is your interview cracking, because end goal is that, right? Everyone is here for cracking the interview. If the interview is not cracked, then what will happen? We are not here to learn the subject, write some exam, and we are done, right? We are working, we require this because we have to crack an interview. So there is where your self introduction, because it's a most important thing. It can be a fresher, it can be your experience, it can be a manager level, because the first 10 minutes of your interview is very critical. There is where a person's capability is identified. Makes, based on that the interview will move on, right? Then your technical rounds, because technical round is important, because how do you answer a question when you really, when you have a very minimum knowledge, and how do you convey the front person to tell him that I am very passionate about learning, I require that area, or I require that environment where I can prove myself. So because there are some points which we need to speak to convey, or all, as well as have a complete control on the interviewer. Okay. And second is your HR round, most important, because end of the day is what we're going to take a salary. You're not your company, not your technology. Technology, however, you have to learn because you want to be in the IT, but end of the day is a salary which is most important. How to have a patience, how to speak in a well manner to a HR is important, because their an attitude, saying negative words doesn't work for us. Okay. And finally, most of the people who are non-technical, how to convert your non-technical into a technical. Okay. That also will tell you. Okay. If there's a no gap or no kind of things in your career, then we can do this one. It is very easy, it's all in your hand. It's all in your hand. Again, I'm telling, it's all in your hand. How to move to technical, from non-technical to technical, and how to maintain that level of uh, maturity, they will tell you. And then we'll speak about the behavioral and mindset change. Most important is changing the mindset when you come to a industry. Okay. It's just many people, what they do, they learn the course and they go for a communication skills, they go for a resume preparation areas where people resume. No, it's not that one time you'll go to a location where people will help you. What if second company comes after 2 years, you want to change the company again? Will you roam around the institutes? So learn it once, because next 20-30 years it is going to be with you, right? So learn it once, put an effort now, the result and the fruitful result will be there in your lifelong. Then additionally, what are we giving you? Running notes, your diagrams, whatever the architect diagrams, your documentations in a sense. For every tool we have a proper screenshots, proper notes. Okay. Proper whatever you do, your practical knowledge, everything screenshot is there with the procedures are there. And your recording session says whatever we record online with you guys, wherever you guys are there, only that recording. It's not that someone else recording is shared to you, we don't do that. And then scenario based notes and your interview preparation notes. And finally we'll give you some sample resumes where you can do your stuff. Okay. And finally, when you complete all these projects, one end-to-end project will be seen, where you'll see a good result of doing. There is where we have put a real-time scenario where you can crack the scenario, where you can design your own architect. Okay. Fine. Any clarity, guys? Anyone has any doubts? So that I'll just take 2 minutes. I'll take 2 minutes pause and I'll proceed with my demo. Now we'll, okay. And one more thing, I don't use ppts to come, I don't use ppts anywhere in my complete course. There is no ppt, this is only for a demo purpose. Everywhere we use a whiteboard where we explain you diagrammatically, and those diagrams are shared again back to you, so that you can refer those one. As well as I wrote I will be writing the notes. You don't need to write any of the notes, running notes. We'll be giving you the running notes as well as the documentation. Okay. Along with the videos. Fine. So because we teach line by line, it's not that we just move the ppts. There's no ppt concept at all. It is only for the demo purpose. Any clarity, guys, in your agenda, like your course content and your overview of that. Okay, before I proceed.
Uh, hi, Sagar. This is Srinivas.
Yes.
So I hear that most of the companies are looking for the depth knowledge on the Kubernetes and Terraform.
Yes.
So how much
Yes.
depth will be going to cover here? Like
Yeah, we'll
so.
be covering the depth, right? See here, if you see this Kubernetes, how the we are learning about architecture, we are learning about all the components, because and this Kubernetes is what it is. We are installing this Kubernetes on the machines. That means you're going to install this from the scratch. It is not that some managed service you're using, you're clicking a button, giving a name of the cluster, and it is creating the cluster. But where the cluster created, how you created the cluster, how are you going to troubleshoot the cluster tomorrow if the cluster fails? Because this is what we're seeing. We are teaching you on the latest Red Hat 9. Even the complete YouTube you go and search, you'll not get these videos. I guarantee this. Go and search in the videos or any of the Udemy courses you go and search. I'll tell you, I guarantee you that you'll not get Red Hat, latest Red Hat software any institute is providing. We are providing you on the latest software, Red Hat 9. Every tool is installed on Red Hat 9. Okay, and see here, each and every concept with a proper example is there. Secrets, volume, namespaces, logging, all this is covered, and we'll be covering end-to-end deployment. So because this is from the scratch, it is not a managed service. Someone is giving you a software, you're giving your name, cluster name, you're clicking a button, cluster is created, and you're simply running the deployments. No, we are installing from the scratch. Okay, we have a good documentations where I can show you. We give a documentations. Okay, we have a proper
Okay, okay,
documentation for each and everything. You can see here list of. It's not that the word we are saying. Everything is a procedure which we created here. If you see this, I open my Ansible, right? See all the notes along with the diagram with the example screenshot, so that even someone misses the class due to some reason, still you guys can refer this one along with the videos with the examples. Everything is there. And in the end, definitely we'll do one demo. We'll be making sure integrating with every tool. Okay, it's not that simply, right? So we have designed this course in such a way that it can help not only a fresher as well as an experienced guy. It's not that at a basic level we'll tell you the course and leave it. No, it's not only for a 1 year 2 year experienced guy or a college fresh out. It's also help you the who is at the team lead level, who is 10 plus of experience, right? Even that guy can get a good knowledge out of that. That's the reason we have designed this course very in depth. Everything is in depth. If you see a Docker, everywhere we are doing integration with Jenkins, so that tomorrow your automation can be achieved. Okay, every place your automation can be achieved with Jenkins. So how you do a one click deployment without any human intervention? You click one click and your complete pipeline runs over your DevOps. So that is our, like, it is not a manual intervention. We are also teaching you manual work as well as automation work. And every tool, after every tool, there will be some scenarios where we will do a proper interaction, so that we can also check how good you're able to grasp the knowledge, right? How you able to understand this tool. Because we are not in a hurry, we don't have any hurry, we don't have any strict timelines that this is what we have to do. Because we know that this tool will go for minimum. If you want to cover this much of content, and every content, if you see, I have kept it with point wise. It's not that I can keep a side heading and leave it, but every content we have point it as a point wise, because even you should understand what is the concept. Okay, what all tools we are going to cover, what are the concepts you have covered. So that is what the agenda of this. Okay, it's not, and final goal is not just teaching you DevOps. Our goal is you guys should get a job. Okay, wherever you go, you guys should get a job. You should be able to crack the interview, because that is a final result. For you it's a final result, for us it's a final result. Because when you get a job, our name grows. It's not teaching a course can be taught, can be learned anywhere, but teaching in the right way, starting from right guidance, having a small projects, making you understand the real time architecture. That is a goal of this course. Okay. So any other questions, guys?
okay,
Yeah,
So don't
hi,
worry,
this
we'll
is
not compromise anywhere. Even a half month, 1 month is getting delayed. If you want to repeat some topics, we'll definitely repeat it. Okay.
okay.
So
That's good.
we will be going a small phase, slow phase only. Will not hit very fast, or will not. We don't want to run with the hard timelines. Okay. Even if a half month is going away, I am okay with that, because final goal is make you understand properly. You guys should crack your interview and get your jobs. Fine.
Okay. So,
Any other question, guys?
Sagar,
Yeah.
actually, currently I'm working as a Linux administrator from the
Okay.
past 7 years. So now I
Okay.
want to see my career as a Devops engineer. So, is this content is enough to get the job
Yes,
with
yes,
this experience?
yes. I'll tell you, because I just told, right. Linux is a base for any DevOps, and if you're proficient in Linux, you will play around with DevOps tools, because already your hands are very smooth, right, running the commands and everything. And each and every
Yes,
DevOps
yes.
tools which you install is a command line, right? So you will play around with that, and you can easily grasp it. You can easily automate things, because already you are at professional level, so you can easily grasp that things easily. And not, it's not that no one can grasp it, anyone will grasp it, because already I kept my content of the DevOps Linux so much that you guys will be proficient going forward. Okay, all your each and everything it is kept here will be used throughout the course. Okay, right from your software, SCP, your backup, restore, everything, right? Your network commands, your basic commands, right? How do you check the disk space, how do you add the disk, all these things is we have done. Because going forward, all the Linux admin have to move toward the cloud. Going forward, each and every network admin, storage admin, your Linux admin, all these people have to definitely move to the cloud, because there is no more on premises data centers. That means no company is handling its own data center because of the cost optimization. And all these folks has to move to DevOps and cloud. That is going to be mandate. Okay, from 2024, if you see, many companies are moving completely to DevOps, and already a company started their process of DevOps. Okay, so it will become a very important for you to learn a cloud administration along with your DevOps. Fine. Any more doubts, guys? Okay, let's.
Yeah, hi. This is Srikant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Terraform which you teach us,
Okay.
will we able to write any code to invoke or
Yes.
this
See,
services from
Terraform. Yes. Fine. I'll tell you. So Terraform. Mostly, why do you use Terraform? To automate your AWS infrastructure, right? So whatever the machines you're creating, okay, so all this adding the disk, okay, running some kind of machines deletion. Because what happens, uh, when you create, let's suppose you have a customer where a customer requires 11 node setup machine, it's very difficult for you to create every time that machines. Okay, or let's suppose you work in a company where you do huge testing, different teams does the testing in different VMs. Like you want a production system, you want a sandbox, you want a lower environment, you want a staging environment. Okay, so you want for some other data science team, data engineering team. So in this situation, what happens, you require an automation level. There is where a Terraform comes, where we'll be writing a Terraform .tf files. Okay, and this tf files, what it will do, automatically will create your infrastructure, automatically will delete the infrastructure. And finally, it's not about just running this command manually. You have to integrate this with your Jenkins, and make sure you use your Jenkins tool with a proper pipeline, where it will connect in one shot, right? Your machines are created, your complete code is built, your final software is built, it is went and deployed in some machines. So that big pipeline, the big picture has to be seen along with Terraform. It's not only Terraform, it's with the complete end to end, right from your creating the machines, then giving the access, then providing your complete build activity, and finally you do the deployment. Because final goal is what, releasing the software in the market for a customer. Okay, so that all things will be covering here. So don't have a doubt in the mind, we'll be giving a good
yeah,
knowledge to you. Fine.
thanks.
Okay, fine. Because practical is important, and we definitely concentrate theory with practical here. It's not that only practical will show you the diagram, because tomorrow when you go for interview, you should have some little bit of stuff to speak, right? You should have little bit of content. Again, you guys should not waste in the internet going and searching the content. So we'll be giving you the content, will you giving you the questions, will be giving you the answers, so that it will help you in your DevOps journey. Within shorter time, you can crack a job. So we'll be putting all our effort, but also, yeah, your effort is required. You should have an analysis of whatever you're working, so that every time you do a practical, try to explore something new. That will help your knowledge, right? So even your effort is required. Along with, we will be putting our effort, like 1.5 hour, 1 hour, whatever we teach you, 1.5 hour, 2 hours, whatever we teach you, we will putting our complete effort with your theory and practical. But further is your help which is required to improve it further. Fine. Any other questions before I jump into our demo?
Hi Sagar, this is Rahul.
Yes. Yes, Rahul.
Uh, do we cover Tomcat in this session? Because
Yes,
I
it is
heard
there,
that.
no?
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I think I missed it. My bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So guys, GV Sai Kumar, right? Fine. So guys, like anyone who has a meeting or someone's getting late, so don't hesitate, right? You can reach an institute. We can connect tomorrow as well. If you have time, I can get a time slot from institute, and someone is getting late for office or someone is not able to stay here due to some other reason. If you really want to connect, reach out to the institute folks. Okay, you can leave your number in this chat. So, or already institute people might, when you register a form, they might have your details, right? Just reach out back to them and just inform them we need a separate call before the course starts, so that you can have all the queries. Okay. Or if you want us to connect tomorrow, definitely we'll connect tomorrow again for you. Okay, fine. Any queries, guys? Yes, someone was asking. Sorry for interruption. Sorry for really interruption. Could you come again? You're on mute. Someone was speaking.
Yeah, it was Rahul about Tomcat, but it's all sorted
Okay,
now.
yeah. Sorry. So Tomcat, definitely it is there. We'll be teaching you Tomcat troubleshooting, installations, how do you do the deployment, manual deployment, with a Jenkins automation deployment, with the Ansible deployment. So three different ways how you can manage your Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat is definitely there. That is the main tool, because every industry requires that one. It is also used in your Docker Kubernetes for your deployment purpose. So there is a Tomcat. Okay, fine. There's a Tomcat. Fine, guys. So let's proceed. Okay, so you guys might have little bit of idea of DevOps, I believe, right? So what is DevOps? So what is DevOps? You guys might have little bit of idea. Okay, so the DevOps, right? The DevOps keyword which came, dev and ops. Dev stands for developer. The developer, again, there are different developers: front end developers, back end developers, Python developers, your QA people who do the automations, right? And then your operations people like your Linux admin, your storage admin, network admin, the DevOps engineers, your cloud engineers. This fall under your operation. Okay, so this is where they formed a keyword. And if you see, any DevOps keyword is, anytime you write a DevOps, it is running with capital D and O. Why? Because how much a developer has an importance in the industry today, more than that operation guys in the industry, more than that operation guys have more demand in the industry. Why? I'll tell you why. Why, how much a developer is given importance, more than that why this person is given importance, I'll tell you today. Okay. So before that, DevOps. What is DevOps? You might be thinking DevOps is a technology. Yes, it is a technology. It has some tools associated with it. Okay, it has some IT professional tools are there. But before that, when this they started a DevOps, they brought a DevOps concept because DevOps is a process. They wanted to bring up good process. They wanted to get good culture. They wanted to bring a good philosophy, right? Where they wanted to bring this practice of operations people like a cloud DevOps engineers, okay, working together with the developers, okay, so that they can build a quality product. Because end goal of any company is what? Build a quality product. Any company, why they're working? Is they simply working for writing a code and making an infrastructure? No. Final goal is, some company will be selling the websites, some company will be selling the products over the websites for the e-commerce. Some companies might be insurance based companies, some companies may be automobile related companies. Every company, what they want their website, their product, okay, or their project to be run in a successful. Because what happens, when a developer and operation works together, you get a quality product. Okay, because they both sync together. It doesn't mean operation guys has to work or learn development related coding, or the development team has to learn the operation related. Both will just interact for a building a quality product. There is where, if you want to build a quality product, okay, we have to work together with a proper process, using a entire life cycle. That means, simple, right? When you want to design a product, to build a product, if you want to start a product from scratch, first you need what? Proper life cycle. Like a planning is required, then your design is required, then your code and build is required, then your testing is required in the product, then your deployments are required, okay, to test how it behaves in the live environment, right? All this is important. Along with that, you require what? Feedback from the customer. Feedback is required and improvement is required. If these two are not there, then the life cycle will not improve, right? So that is the reason they brought a concept of DevOps, for a proper process of building a tool with a complete life cycle, where all the developers and operations will work together to build a quality product. That is where the definition comes. Okay, that is where the definition and the meaning of DevOps comes. So before DevOps, there is a history. I'll tell you what is the history behind DevOps. Because remember, any software today, it is coming in the industry. That means definitely there's a legacy system which didn't work properly in the market. That's the reason it came in the market today. Okay. Who is a DevOps engineer? Who is a DevOps engineer? So DevOps engineer is an IT professional. Remember, who is DevOps engineer? He's an IT professional. No more contract jobs. Even if some company hires you as a process of their contract, only that specific companies will be there. But today, no one will hire you as a contract jobs. Reason is that we have very less DevOps engineer in the market who has very skilled level. Okay, and that's the reason we are saying it's a IT professional who works with software developers, system operators, other production staff for administering the code releases. That means we are responsible for maintaining the websites. All the websites, all the required tools running behind the website, we are responsible. Okay, building that application also we are responsible. Only the code is written by a developer. Okay, and then we are also responsible for the infrastructure, because where the data is kept. And basic requirement for a DevOps engineer is little bit of soft skills. You don't require a hi-fi English. It's only a soft communication where you can convey your message. If you're able to convey a message and the front person is able to understand, that is a basic requirement. Okay. So this is a DevOps engineer. Okay, DevOps engineer is nothing but an IT professional who works on the complete DevOps tools and who manages the infrastructure. Okay, who manages your infrastructure. Then what are the roles and responsibilities and the skills of a DevOps engineer? I'll explain you diagrammatically now. We'll take an example of a project and we'll see where our role fits, where a developer role fits, and what is our work. Okay, I'll give you a diagrammatic explanation in just 2 minutes. Before that, we'll speak about a little bit of roles and responsibilities. A DevOps engineer works as a full-time employee. Definitely, we require a full-time employee because it's very difficult to get a DevOps engineer outside who has a proper skills. Okay, because everyone is trying to move from different skills. But what happened? They try to learn with their own or something. They explore few tools. Okay, they get a basic knowledge. But when people ask them scenario based, people are not able to crack. Why? Because you don't learn the course in a proper structure. Learn the complete course, implement a little bit of hands-on. Okay, explore few things, then go for interview. Definitely you crack it, and definitely people will get the openings over there. Okay, and they are responsible for production and ongoing maintenance of a software application platform. Okay, so we are responsible for all the production related or any kind of a website running. And DevOps engineer should have a strong skills on CI/CD, continuous integration, content deployment. There is where all your tools forms. Okay, continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay, and then you require little bit of any one of a cloud technology you require, and little bit of problem solving. Okay, it is like how you think about it. And finally, manage your infrastructure, like your cloud operations, your own data center, right? So you can manage this operations via the cloud. Finally, okay, and little bit of automation. As we are already covering the automation, we are learning shell script, we are learning your Terraform, we are learning your Ansible. So all these are covered in your syllabus, right? So basic, this is required. Okay, little bit of skills is required for your tools, as well as little bit of communication skills, because end of the day it's a communication which helps in a lot of things. Because there will be some people come from different states, right? So when you work in a company, there can be a person who doesn't know your mother tongue. So that's the reason a common language is required, and English, so that you can communicate. Fine. So what does a DevOps engineer do? So he will be deploying the latest version, upgrading the database version. So here every team is dependent on DevOps. Your developer is dependent on DevOps because if a developer has to write a code and execute a code, he requires some tools that DevOps engineer can only give the infrastructure team. Your data science team, your data engineering team, every team is dependent on DevOps. That's the reason the market is very demanding today for a DevOps engineer. And also I'll tell you in the real time how it happens where we are driven. Before I go to something else, let's take a pause here, okay, and come back to a diagram where I'll give you a clear picture what is our role, okay. And give a clear picture what a major roles plays for us, okay. So let's take an example of a company, okay. Let's take an example of a company called TCS. Let me increase the font of this one. Okay, let's example, there's a company called TCS. There's a company called TCS, and TCS might have different clients. With TCS service based company, it has different clients. That's one of the client. Let's suppose okay, let's suppose it's one of the client. Let's call, okay, Mintra is a client for TCS, okay, and Mintra requires TCS to build a e-commerce website. It wants TCS to build a e-commerce website and provide complete infrastructure support, okay. Okay, e-commerce website along with the infra support, okay. Infra support is required one TCS. Okay, now both your cloud and DevOps we cover here. So before this, if it requires e-commerce website, who will gather these requirements? Is it a DevOps engineer gathering requirement? Highly impossible. So there are different teams. When you go for a company, you should know what are different teams. There is very first team comes a business team. A business team, or you say product team, where you have a product managers. These product managers are all your MBA professionals, okay. This MBA professional, what they'll do, they'll gather the requirements. Very important, gathering a requirement, right? So like, what is your requirement? So what is your design, okay? What are your features, okay? What are your features, okay? What level of security is required, okay? Then what is your scale? What is the scale of, how do you like, what is the scale of the website, right? That means how many people are going to log in, okay, at what scale your website will be launched, okay. Extra things, right? Then your payment gateways, all your payment, what kind of a payment gateway you want to use, okay, gateways, etc things, right? Then your, where do you want to host your infra, okay, hosting infra. So they will ask all these questions because they have to fix a budget, because when TCS is working for a company, they will fix a budget, right? So this budget has to fix etc things, right? Hosting infra. So etc things will come gathered by this team. Then second team comes your development team. Okay, in this development team, all the developers will be working, but don't assume there's only one development team. No, there are different developers will be here. So there again, there's a differentiation here. Like, you have a front end developers. In this front end developers, people will be designing the website. Designing of the website is done here. And second thing, all your buttons, your look and feel of a login page, how your acknowledgement page should be, how your product page should be seen, okay, how your payment gateway should be seen, all this paging, like your front end code will be written by a web developers. These are called a web developer who will be writing a web development. Then you have back end developers. These back end developers are the people who will be writing your Java code, okay, all your back end codes, back end code. Like, you can write in any language, right? They can write in Java, they can write in your Python, or they can write in your .NET, anything, right? Whichever technology they know, they'll write it. And then finally comes your, okay, QA, sorry, your DB, okay, database team. And this database, these people will be writing all your SQL related queries. because how the data will be stored in the database, this will be writing. And finally you have your DevOps team. This DevOps team is what? Okay, managing. These are your DevOps engineers. Your form comes your DevOps engineers. What is these people do? These people manage all infrastructures, like your cloud infrastructure. You should have a knowledge of cloud. Okay, all your cloud infra is managed by these people, infrastructure. And then this manage all your DevOps tools. Okay, these are responsible for building building the applications. Okay, deploying the applications. They're not writing again the code, I'm telling. Deploying apps, application apps are the same. And like security, little bit of security tools are there with us. Then we have your monitoring tools, we will be automating, then we'll be doing your automations, we'll be doing the integrations. So all this work we'll be doing. Okay, and this is not that difficult, it is very easy because we have a tools. You're not doing anything from the scratch, everything is on tools, right? So this is where a teams, and one more final team will come. That final team is nothing but your fourth team is required, quality assurance. Okay, quality assurance team. So what is this? QA team. Quality assurance will be, so this team there'll be some QA engineers. These people have a different skills. These people have a different skills, like because when you write a website, when you design a website e-commerce, you should check the functionality testing. Okay, functional testing is required. Why functional testing is required? Because we don't know when the website goes live, when a website is going live, whether it will open or not, whether the login will happen, whether the payment is failing. Okay, how many users are going to log in, we don't know, whether the website is going to crash, whether the website is going to be slow. All this performance testing, everything these people are done. They have their own tools, we don't need to worry about them. Okay, so this is the four teams which a company will use. Remember, these are the four teams. With if you go to any company, these are the four teams mandatory required for you. Clear? Any clarity, guys here? Okay. Now, who is assigning a DevOps engineer work? It is assigned by a product team. So these are the four teams in a company which is mandatory. This business team is the one who will gather the requirements. They will give you the story points. So they, when they gather all this infra details, what are tools they want to use, all the tool information they'll give you, they'll be working on the form. They will be assigning in the form of tickets. So this business team is responsible for assigning a tickets for a developers as well as tickets for a DevOps engineer. Okay, also as well as for QA engineer. So this team will assign you all the tickets, story points, and you'll be working on it. Okay, so our work is now, but okay, this is a high level info. Now we'll go in detail. Okay, we'll go in detail for your stuff. Someone raised a hand or what? Okay, fine. So come back. So these are the four teams. So now what is the requirement? Company TCS is the company, clients, the client is Mintra, who want to build an e-commerce website. Okay, they want the infrastructure support as well along with the website launching. So these are the different teams. Now how the products will, how the work will start. So very first, this business team, what it does, this business team's responsible of the business team is, okay, this business team or the product managers who are there, right? These people are responsible for the work. This business team is, first they start the work, because these people has to set the budget. These people will have a meeting. First we people will have a meeting with this business team. Okay, internal meeting. Once they gather the details, one meeting will be there. They'll be telling us, they'll be giving us a requirement, right? So manage all infrastructure, like, so these business teams will be assigning the details for us in the form of story points, and this story points will be assigned. Let's suppose our work, will speak about the DevOps team work, how this business team will provide you the information. Okay, this business team, what it does, okay, if they want to assign some work to DevOps, right, they'll create some story points. Okay, so they'll be creating a story point for your DevOps tools. What are the DevOps tools are there, right? So what are tools you're going to use, for that one stories are created. Like for example, the customer requirement is use so and so tools. They want a GitHub account for storing your GitHub repositories. Code is required. Then you want code is written in Maven, they require a Maven tool. They require a security tool called Sonar Cube. So all these tools will come as a requirement. Okay, then the customer want to go with Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, so customer want this infrastructure level, and they're going to host in AWS. Okay, these are the tools they will mention for you. Okay, a basic tools. I'm just giving a high level info. These are the tools which they're going to mention. Now, after these tools, they will tell you about your infrastructure. Now, when you're saying AWS cloud, they'll say infra, right? Infra support. When they say, they'll say how many machines. Okay, what is the machine requirement? Okay, how many infrastructure? Okay, how many machines are required? Let's suppose they require some 40 machines. If this 40 machines are required, machines, okay, machine is 40 machines, okay, your machines, and they say they require some good amount of resources can be your CPU, RAM, your hard disk, okay, hard disk. Then they'll speak about what kind of a different services they want to use. Do they want to work in a VPC, separate VPC for a customer where they have a critical payments happening over there. So we need to design a complete infrastructure, right? So what all services we are using? We're using a VPC, we're using a load balancer, okay, load balancer. Are we using any kind of a S3 storages? Then all these things we have to gather the information, and there is in AWS there's a cost optimize, there's a cost page where it will tell you if you use this many resources what is the cost. Because at the end of the day, this business team, when they give you stories, they'll ask you what is the cost. So you don't need to high level do any costing anywhere. Simply we can, what you can do is we can raise a ticket to AWS people and tell them this is the AWS requirement I want, and tell me the cost optimization, this many machine, this many load balancers, this many buckets we require. Okay, we are hosting a route 53, we are hosting our route 53 website where we have a domain. So all this thing when you give, it will give you a cost, and this cost has to be updated back to the business team. So now business team will assign you all these story points in the form of tickets, and you will not do this in one shot. Along with you, there will be 4 or 5 DevOps engineers sitting here, and this will be worked in sprint planning. So when you're coming to DevOps, okay, when you're coming to DevOps, your tickets will be planned like this. Before I go to the work, your tickets will be planned like this. So how you work is you work in the DevOps and you work in the DevOps and Agile model. So we'll come to what is Agile model, but I'll give you a high level. There's yet to cover. There's a Agile model. So when you go to a company, any company will, whenever there's a DevOps, people will follow this Agile model. Under DevOps process, people will have Agile model where they have a first they'll be having a sprint planning calls. In the sprint planning, let me increase the font. There were sprint planning meetings. Okay, sprint planning meetings. In this sprint planning, what they do is they assign tickets. What are the tickets of story point? These are assigned tickets. Okay, we assign tickets. Okay, we assign the tickets here, and this tickets has given a time week of 2 weeks. Okay, and if case you're not able to close the ticket, okay, let's suppose you're not able to close the ticket, no problem, this will be spillover, this will spill over to next sprint. Next sprint, after every 2 weeks, the sprint is for 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks sprint will be there. In this sprint, okay, you need to work it. If in case you're able to complete 10%, 5%, you don't complete, there's no restriction, there's no timeline, hard timeline, you have to do it this. So DevOps work in a proper iteration model. I'll come back to you. Second thing, okay, second thing, you will be having daily stand-up meetings, because this is a process of Agile and DevOps. So you'll be following a daily scrum meeting. It is called scrum meeting, where every day, like you have 30 minutes, complete team will have 30 minutes, 5 minutes will be given to every person to explain about their issues. So in this, your 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever they keep, right, one, okay, your 30 to 60 minutes, whatever you call you have with your team. So complete team will be telling about their issues, what issues I am facing, where I am blocked, okay, all the issues, okay, blockers, okay, what did you do yesterday, all this information is gathered so that they can understand where we stand with the work of the technologies. It's not only you, even your development team will be working, and they'll be telling that we build a login feature for the website, we build a logout feature, okay, we are facing this issue at the security level. All that information is, this is how the work happens, okay. When you go to a company, you have these teams, then this is how the tickets will come in the form of what, there'll be some ticketing tools, you don't need to worry about that. The company will give you KT, they'll be having some Jira ticketing, or some companies will have your service now, okay. Some people will have HP for HP ALM tool is there. Okay, HP ALM ticketing tool is there. So that ticketing tool people will use. The different tools are there where people will be using. Okay, so this is just how to create a ticket, how to close. You don't need to worry about that ticketing tool. So this is how the ticket is. Ticket, why they assign ticket? So that a proper tracking is done. Okay, fine. So this is how you work in an agile model. When you come to DevOps, you are given a flexibility, you need to give a flexibility. Even if you don't complete the ticket, no issues, next sprint it will go, you can complete it, whatever. Let's suppose you complete 10%, update 10% is completed and move on. So there's no restriction, because we came up a model of agile and DevOps. What is agile, DevOps, I'll come back to you, but these are the two things we'll be doing it here, we'll be doing a two things in this. Okay, fine. So this is the team perspective, and this is the ticket session. Now comes the actual works for a DevOps. Okay, actual comes for a DevOps work. So now our work will start from here. So very first, you will be having a developers, you'll be having a developers. So very first, because if you want to deploy a website, first a developer should start his work and design a website, right? He should write a code, he should write a website, right? Then how only you can start the deployment. So very first in the company starts the developers work. These developers, what they do, they will start their work, okay, and these people will be writing the code in any form. Let it be, they can write any form, doesn't matter, we don't need to worry about coding. So what they'll, these developers will be doing, they'll be writing the development part. So this they will be writing the code in Java, your Python, anything they can write. It depends upon their stuff. Okay, let's suppose they are writing a code in Java. So what this, okay, so these people will be writing a code, and these people what they'll do, it can be Java. Some people front end developers, they'll be writing in React JS or Angular JS. Okay, Angular JS. Okay, so all this different technology they'll be writing. Okay, and the DB people, they'll be writing your SQL queries, right? So they'll be writing your SQL queries. So now these people, what they'll do, they'll be doing their development work, all the development work they'll be doing. Okay, and finally they'll be writing the code, right? Development work, final code is what, they'll be giving some code. Okay, code written by developer, right? Is written, or code development, we can say development work. And simply I'll put it this as code development work, right? So this is how these people work on it, these people work on it. Now once they work, once their work is completed, okay, once their work is completed, this developer who are writing their coding part, okay, now what happens when so much of code is written, you require one tool here. What is that tool? You require one tool here. Okay, when so much of code is written, they require one tool here, that is called your Git and GitHub. Why this is, Git and GitHub both are same, only Git is a command line tool, GitHub is a storage location where you store the tool. Okay, Git and GitHub is required. Okay, Git and GitHub is required, fine. Then Git is GitHub. So why we require this tool? So what happens, there are so many developers working who is writing a code. They will be like last 5 years one developer might be writing a code. Suddenly what happens, due to some reasons he left the company, due to some reasons he left the company. Now what should happen, how you will know what line, what word, or which word he modified? Okay, what, because when new person comes, joins the company, you should have some history, when he deleted a file, when he updated a file, when he modified the file, when we started this work. So that's the reason we require a proper tracking tool. proper code tracking tool where what people, okay, who added, okay, who modified, okay, who deleted something. So each and everything has to be done. It's not only for a developers. Tomorrow when you write a automation scripts like Ansible scripts or Ansible playbooks, you write some deployment YAMLs in Kubernetes, or you write some Terraform, even that will be kept in your GitHub only. It is not only for developers, it is also for us where we'll be keeping our tools. Fine. After this, okay, this is one thing. Okay, this is one thing where you require for tracking. Okay, there are few more advantages I'll tell you later. For now it is enough for GitHub and GitHub. Okay, so you require a tracking tool, which line modify, who modified, where it modified, all this tracking should be there because you keep a code safely. Okay, you can't keep in a folder or any location however you wish. You require a proper tool. Fine. So now once this is done, code is written, we have stored the code. Now when a developer is testing a code, when a developer is writing a code, he will definitely execute it. And how does a developer execute? Normally developer, how this developer will be executing the code? When before these people write a code, they'll be using Java. Let's suppose they're using a Java language, they'll be using a Java interpreter, they will be using a Java software, right? So what these people will do is they use a Java software with the Java has some commands called Java C. And let's suppose they are working on login dot Java file. They are logging a login feature. So these people, what they'll do, these developers, these people will execute the code in the command line. In let's suppose any machine, they'll write this execution. So this Java C, what it will do, it will do your compilation. It will do the compilation of the code and it will give the class files. It will give you all your dot class files. Why dot class files? Because our machine doesn't understand human understand language. It requires ones and zeros language. That is the reason it will do the compilation. It will give it to their hardware. Hardware do the processing. It will give it back. So likewise, these people will be doing for all the files. After this compilation is done, these people will be doing the interpretation using a Java command where they'll pass your login file. Okay, what is the login dot file is there? They'll pass this file. So in one file it is doing it's fine, but when he's working on a website there are hundreds of files, hundreds of different features. It's very difficult for a developer. I'm just speaking about backend. Also front end developer will also facing same issue. He will be also storing his front end code and everything. DB person will be executing, he'll be storing all his DB queries. So now when a developer has to test his code, it's very tedious task. For working for one file, two file, it is fine. Every day 10-20 times he has to execute this code. Will he write the code or will he keep executing the code only? It's a difficult task for him, right? Because he is also human being, right? So there is where DevOps introduce a tool to reduce little bit of burden on developer so that he can concentrate on tool. That is called your Maven. There is where Maven came into picture. We'll be learning Maven since Maven is more comfortable in compiling. Okay, after the compiles, if we need to run an application, you need to bundle that as well. That means generate an artifact, generating the bundle. It can be a zip file, it can be a jar file, it can be anything, right? Generating a bundle where your complete code is kept and application will be launched. So that is required. For that purpose, you have a Maven where it will do the compilation of the code. Compiling it will do the packaging, that is a bundling. It will run some tests for you, test cases, and it will finally upload this to some other storage. Upload to storage also your this will only do it. Your Maven. So that is the advantage of Maven. Okay. And also let's suppose this developer requires some images to be downloaded, some images to be downloaded before running the code. So that's a tedious task. Let's suppose he requires some additional jars, he requires some zip files, etc. things to be downloaded. Then just imagine how much difficult work is for a developer. Every day he has to do this one because one day he can't build the login page, he can't build the website in one day. It is a 6 months, 10 months effort to be done. So much of work is there. How he will manage? All that can be automated with your Maven. So Maven is okay. Maven resolves all your dependencies as well. What are your dependencies? Your images, your jars, etc. things. All your resolve dependency, it will resolve. So there is where Maven become famous in the market, which is most used tool in the market today. Okay, this is the third tool. Fine. After this, you have written so much of code. Okay, code is stored here, everything is done. But developer is also human being, right? What are the code is writing, whether it is correct or not, a developer can verify, other developer. But can they accurately tell tomorrow when you launch a website? Because end goal is what? Our end goal is what? Getting a website. Okay, we want to launch a website. E-commerce website has to be launched. This is the end goal. This is where the end goal is there. So to start the deploying the website here, you require some software to be built. So that software is built by your Maven. That software is built by a Maven. Finally, once this is done, here comes your Sonar Cube. Why? Because so much of code is written. Who will test this code? It's difficult for a developer to write every test cases. He will be writing her test cases, but tomorrow this website will be hacked because of some wrong uh, wrong services or deprecated code written somewhere, some functions methods written in Java. Due to some software, some errors are coming or someone is hacking this website. So who will verify that? So there is where your Sonar Cube tool comes. So next comes your Sonar Cube, which is most important. Okay, most important, your Sonar Cube will come into picture. Okay, your Sonar Cube will come into picture. This Sonar Cube is the main tool in the market tomorrow. Okay, after 2024, the DevOps will become DevSecOps. People are introducing one security tool, and there's in that security tool, one of the tool is our Sonar Cube. So this will verify your code checks, code code checks, quality of the code. Okay, your code quality is checked. Okay, code quality is done. Okay, then your duplication of code. Let's suppose the developer has written duplication code. Who will identify? Okay, there are some standards missing. Okay, proper standards missing. Who will identify? Okay, who will give a suggestion to a developer? Suggestion for a developer. So okay, all this is done by your, it will check the vulnerabilities, bugs, errors. Okay, it will verify your bugs. Okay, you will verify your bugs, and any kind of a virus is there. All the virus is called a vulnerabilities. Okay, your vulnerabilities. Okay, I'll simply write virus. Yeah. Okay, so here Sonar Cube is mandatory for us. Fine. So there is where Sonar Cube was introduced, so that manually a developer cannot imagine everything what is going to happen. Okay, there is where Sonar Cube. Then what is our work? We are the admins of these tools. We are the admins of these tools. We are the admins of these tools. We are the one who is starting these tools, creating the repositories, maintaining the administration task, how the work happens. We will be learning this tool and giving little bit of knowledge transformation for a developer. Okay, and here also we'll be creating all the users, will be managing this tool, installing, integrating with different tools, creating the automations. That is our work. Okay, and finally, so much of zip file bundling is done. You created your jar file final artifact, right? You created a jar, you created a war file, or you created your different artifact, right? Er is there, rar is there. All this extension artifacts which you created, where you'll store it? For that storage, you require a storage, because fast read and write should be there. You can't store it however you wish, because so much of effort is there. Git, the code the stored, we have run the all these things, we have run the checks. Now when you store this code, you require a tool called Nexus. This is for your artifact storage. This will handle the use storage, and this will be having a proper code storage, whatever your artifacts, right? We call that artifacts, final artifacts, which is nothing but your jar and war, the final software which is stored. You require storage with proper tracking, who uploaded, okay, who deleted, who downloaded. All these things has to be done. Here also will be providing proper tracking. Okay, also, let's suppose for tomorrow your client requires this software, easy shareable, easy shareable, you can share it, giving him one access, and they can simply download the things. So this is a proper storage, very fast. Nexus is very fast in terms of your download and upload speed is very fast. Okay, so your uploading, downloading, tracking of the this is done with the Nexus. Okay, because that mechanism of storage is required. Okay, it will store in a proper format as well. It is not however you storing in a folder. It is a proper storage format is there. Once this is done, finally you'll start your deployment. Finally you'll start your deployment. So this is where your Tomcat comes into picture. Tomcat will be using Tomcat, and this Tomcat is the one where our actual work starts. There's also we are maintaining the tools. Here also we'll be maintaining all the, we'll be doing the deployment with the Tomcat. We are the one who will be doing the deployment with the Tomcat. So finally this Tomcat will do the deployments for us. So we'll be deploying app in Tomcat, and Tomcat is very smart enough to unbundle. Okay, unbundle that, or you can say it will extract the contents out of the out of the jar file and launch your application. So it is very smart enough. Tomcat is more smart enough to do this work, and it gives you the flexibility to perform all that activities, troubleshooting, starting that application, restarting the application. It will provide you best features to make sure you don't need to hesitate. All the logs are stored in Tomcat, your application logs, right? Everything is maintained here. So Tomcat is very flexible. Okay, in terms of your deploy, undeploy, okay, redeploy application. So easy way of doing that: undeploy, redeploy, okay, start, stop. It provides all these buttons. So that is where this Tomcat is very flexible to use, and also it is very easy to launch a website using this Tomcat. Okay, so we will be learning about all this: how to start, how to install, how to deploy, how to integrate this with Jenkins. Finally, once these tools are done, now we are also human being, right? DevOps engineer is human being, but developer is getting a flexibility of compiling the code with the Maven. So we should also get some kind of a flexibility, right? Every time I can't go to this. This is a one-time configuration. I can't go to every time these tools. I require some automation tool. There is where your Jenkins come into picture now. So Jenkins is the most powerful tool of this DevOps journey. This Jenkins is the one tool which will provide you graphical interface. This Jenkins will provide you graphical interface from your graphical GUI, right? With your complete GUI, you can manage all tools from here. You can manage all tools here. You can execute each and every, okay, building process. Each, okay, you can execute the code here. We can build code here. Okay, you can deploy from here, deploy apps here. Okay, you can do the automations, and all tools can be integrated, can be connected, I'll say connected to Jenkins. So that flexibility Jenkins is there, and this is the most powerful tool, right? You no need to wake up in the midnight. This provides a timer based jobs. It has some cron facility. It says timer based. I'll say timer based jobs are there which will automatically trigger that jobs, right? All this are done. Finally what we'll do, our work comes here, we'll simply go and give it to our Jenkins. Jenkins is the one place which will now help everything. Okay, Jenkins is the one place which will do everything for us. Fine. Simply hand over everything to Jenkins. You no need to worry about it. So every all our work will be done. But don't worry, we will be going to each and every tool, because at some troubleshooting level you require that one. Okay, at some troubleshooting one you require it. Finally, all these tools can be integrated to Jenkins. Even our practical says we will be doing this one. Okay, so okay, so fine. So you can integrate everything with Jenkins. So now one thing, guys, you'll be learning so many tools, right? Will the company will be using these many tools? No. Why? Because why? What happens if a company is very comfortable in using these tools and they can do their work? Do they want an advanced level of technology? No. If the company is very stable, the website is very stable, do they want it? Okay. Do they want this one? No. So there is where when you work with DevOps, you get a flexibility. Some companies will be using some tool, some companies will be using tool. So both companies getting flexibility to choose this tool, and the DevOps engineers is getting flexibility to go to the job wherever it works. We want to work in different tools. Finally, once this is done, advanced level of features will come like your Ansible. So you have an Ansible, right? So why this Ansible is there? Let's suppose if you want to automate the installation, let's suppose you want to install a software in 100 machines. It's a tedious task, right? It's a tedious task. So let's suppose you want to install one software. What you need to do? First, you need to download that software, install that software, configure that software, verify software is working. All these steps are involved, right? So now it becomes it becomes difficult for us to work on that automation. There is where manual work is difficult, right? There is where Ansible comes. Ansible is an automation tool. Okay, Ansible is an automation tool, and this it is called automation and configuration management tool. Okay, automation tool, and it's called a configuration management tool, which will do the installations in hundreds of machines, more than hundreds of machines, and all the complex configuration files you don't have to manually edit. Otherwise, if 100 servers are given to you, you have to log in 100 machines. Every machine you have to log in, install the software, edit the configuration. So this one click, okay, one click, it will do the installations. Okay, one click it will do the installations, one click installations, uninstallations, validations it will perform, and finally it will do your configurations as well, configurations of files it will edit as well. So much of benefit we have with Ansible. Finally you can do your integration with the Jenkins. Again, instead of command line, you can come to UI and you can do it. Okay, and there are few advanced tools. What are those? Your Docker and Kubernetes. So right now you're working in the Tomcat, that means you're working install the machine, you're using a Tomcat installing inside a machine. So this is your VM based setups, that means virtual machine setup. Everything customer is doing in the machine format. Now if you want to optimize some cost, then you can go with the Docker and Kubernetes advanced technology, where you can go with Docker and Kubernetes for reducing the cost. So this Docker Kubernetes provides a lightweight applications. This provides lightweight application where you can launch your, okay, Kubernetes, where you can launch, where you have a concept of, where you have concept of containers, Docker images. There you have a concept of your in Kubernetes pods, deployments, replica sets. So all these are what? Reducing the cost. Instead of you running in 1,000 machines, you can run now this in some 100 machines with the help of this advanced technology, which provides a containerization, deployments, your services. All this can be launched and website can be launched. Okay, if a company is very happy with these tools, they can go it. Okay, but this people can go with, this is mandatory, these tools are mandatory. Only thing, instead of going with the VM base, they'll go with this Docker and Kubernetes. This is just a containerization technology. Okay, but industry is using because to reduce the cost of the VMs, because you'll be not launching your application single VM, you'll be launching applications hundreds of VM, because we don't know how much request will come to you. Okay, and finally all this work is done where? In your AWS, where you do, because if you want to launch a machine, if you want to run this compilation, if you want to do this Ansiblation, it has to go in the AWS cloud. It has to go in the AWS cloud. There is where all your machines will be launched. Okay, finally our work will be done in AWS cloud, where the AWS provide different flexibilities, right? AWS provide different flexibilities. AWS is a cloud provider, cloud service provider, which will be providing a cloud service. That means he will be providing all the infrastructure to us. Infrastructure resources will be provided. Infrastructure resources will be provided to us. Like he will be providing the machines, which is called instances in this. Here we call it as instances, EC2 instances. Okay. Then all your disk management, okay, all your resources like your CPU, memory, RAM, right? CPU, RAM, memory, okay, your HD hard disk, all this work will be doing here. Finally we have like your load balancers. Okay, I'll say LBs, load balancers, your VPCs, okay, then your Route 53. So different things are here, okay. Your H3 buckets, a lot more are there, right? H3 buckets and etc. things, right? I'll not write everything. So H3 bucket, different services. All your machines and everything will be created here, and everything will be part of this one. So finally, all your infrastructure will be done here, okay. And you can use further your Terraform to automate your this one. Instead of you going to AWS, simply you can manage this from your Terraform, okay. Terraform for automating your infrastructure, right? So you can use your Terraform for automating infrastructure, and you can, what you can do, you can integrate this with the again Jenkins from your UI, so that Jenkins provides us the logs, because something you write in the command line, if that window is gone, your logs are gone. To maintain the logs and history, you require a Jenkins. There is where this will be used, okay. This is how you look. On top of that, finally you will have some monitoring tools which will be used. Fine. Any clarity, guys? This is how our work starts, okay. Our work starts with this, all these tools, okay. Fine. Any clarity, guys? Anyone has any clarity? Any doubt? Yes, you can put your 3 years experience and you can go. Okay, that also will tell you. That also will tell you. Fine. Any clarity, guys? So now you'll be wondering where, okay, you'll be wondering the website is launched finally with your, whenever you launch your Tomcat, your website will be launched, okay, and this load balancer will give you one website URL, and here your website will be launched, okay, from your infrastructure. In your infrastructure, you'll be having a load balancer, right? This LB will be providing you, okay, not this LB will be connected to your Route 53, and this Route 53 will providing your website of your e-commerce. And finally people will be hitting this one, okay. There is a lot more logical diagram here, but it will come as part of your course, not now, because it will take some time. And finally, now you'll be assuming, is it used real time, this much of stuff? Yes, it is used real time. Where you guys are using Instagram, where do you think your Instagram reels and your videos are stored? In your AWS. Okay, how the Instagram is 24 by 7? Because of your Docker Kubernetes. Your Netflix, good example of your Docker Kubernetes Netflix uses. Your Netflix uses your AWS. Okay, go and search here which all companies are using, right? Which all company uses Devops. All this here, Amazon itself is using, which is a company for best for DevOps, right? Is Google using, Netflix using DevOps? Yet Netflix is a fantastic example of DevOps. Okay, which all company using AWS? Put your effort and see here which all companies. Netflix is using, your LinkedIn is using, Indian companies are using this one. So each and every company is using this one. Each and every company is using your AWS is most market demanded. Okay, your Hotstar, your Uber, everything is using your AWS. So just imagine if these many companies are using your AWS and DevOps, how many jobs you'll get in the market? What is the jobs you'll, how many jobs you'll be make in the market? Because right from the morning you wake up, you first see your Instagram, you see your Facebook, you see your WhatsApp, and there are millions of users using it. And if you see, simple example I'll tell you, right? Today's kids, what they do, they don't eat food, what do you show? YouTube, where they see your Coco Million and everything, right? All the Cartoon Networks. So just imagine if they're using at the age of 3, will they use it till the age of 30, 40, right? So just imagine, as soon as the population grows, the DevOps engineer jobs will go, because today your milk is delivered online, your food is delivered online, your clothing is delivered online. Okay, everywhere your DevOps is used. It's not only one industry. I can prove you how many industries. See here, how many industries are using software industry for developing a website? Automobile industries. Why? Because your cars can be sold online, your cars can be delivered online, your spare parts can be online. Okay, your insurance, you're not going for insurance company. Insurance company itself is, you can go to a website and you can launch your financial institutes. All your financial institutes are online now. Your banking, internet, all your banking, what you're doing, your, if you take an example of your SBI, your Citibank, everywhere, everything what you're doing, everything is your online now. Who is managing this website? How this website is managed? How we are making sure the website is 24 by 7 up? Because of our DevOps tool sitting behind it. Because of our DevOps tool which is sitting behind this one, there is where today your social media biggest, Instagram, your Snapchat, your WhatsApp, everywhere your AWS and DevOps is, because that much of data. Do you think Netflix can store the data on a system because we are opening a website here? No. Everywhere you require a cloud, everywhere you require DevOps, because even a fraction of second your website goes down, what will happen? Customer will lose the business. Okay, so sorry, your company will lose the business and company customer will get the loss. So let's suppose a e-commerce website, some when you're ordering a product, and by mistakenly what happens, if your website is not coming up, what will happen? Amazon goes, okay, if your Amazon goes for a down for a 5-10 minutes, what will happen? Your payments will fail, no one will order able to buy the product. So this managing this complete website is important, right? So there is where DevOps is required. Why? Again, simple example. Let's suppose there is a big billion sale here. How automatically this actual rates are converting to discount? Within fraction of seconds, you get a timer in the midnight 12 o'clock and say it is changing. How? Because of a Tomcat. In single shot, just you replace the war file here and it will completely change your. Also, we can do this with Docker Kubernetes, where let's suppose today 200 people are logging because there's no sale. Suddenly, when there was a sale, almost 10 to 20,000 people log in this website. Will their website will handle the load? How the infrastructure can be scaled automatically? There is where you have your Docker Kubernetes, which will increase the pod, and here also you have a concept of auto scaling, which will be used in your auto scaling, which will automatically scale up the instances, automatically scale down the instances. Whenever there is a load on the website, automatically the machines will increase in the backend. When the load goes down the website, automatically machines will come down. So that is the reason this AWS and DevOps is very flexible, and it is very huge demanded market, because everything is going digital nowadays. It is not something, everything is going. Even your healthcare services, you can order your medicines, you can book your appointments, you can download your reports, your electrical, everything is done. All electrical things are online. Okay, then your educations, every education is now online. Then your e-commerce website, most running business. So just imagine which all industries you have job. Is it one industry you have job? No. Every industry is demanding DevOps engineer, and same tools will be used for at least, I can guarantee you, next 30, 40 or 50 years, still these tools will not change. And as the population will grow, that much jobs will increase, because that money, everything is going digital. Everywhere people want a DevOps engineer. Every company now, it is a mandate for a company to have a DevOps engineer. Without DevOps engineer, company will not operate. Okay, company will not operate. It is very, because every team, developer requires some machines, DevOps engineer. QA requires some machines, DevOps. Some front end people require machines, it is required. Like you require a data science team, they will have a data science related tools, DevOps engineer required. Because complete control is where infrastructure control is in the hand of this, and this person is very skilled to have this knowledge. So just imagine how much salaries you're getting. One good thing is that you can decide your salary. Every salary is given. It is not we are speaking, go and search in internet, go and search in job, how many salaries are there. 2023 you can search all the salaries, how much you're getting better than a developer, any other tool. And there you have flexibility to learn. I told you, right? It is not that, let's suppose one company is able to build this product using this 5 tools, he'll go with 5 tools. Why he want to go with this additional tools? It's not mandatory, right? Only if the company, that is the reason. You'll, first of all, you are getting flexibility for choosing your tools. Second, company is getting flexibility to choosing its tools. So both are flexible here. Okay, that flexibility. But if you go as a developer, definitely you have to learn Java. In the Java, again, there is a core Java, advanced Java, then you have a Hibernate, Springs. Okay, microservice, different. You have to learn everything. But here, even if you learn everything, you can choose still what you want to go as a engineer. How do you want to start your career? Everything can be done from here. So, okay, this is how your tool is designed, and this is very flexible to learn. Okay, and one beautification is that this tools doesn't require any logical knowledge as well. Everything is a standard base. You can learn the standard. Whatever you are going to learn here today, same thing will be there in the industry. Again, something different here, something you learned it, there is something different. No, whatever you're going to learn here, exact replica is there in your company. So that's one beautification of this course. Okay, where it will provide a comfortable for us. Okay, comfortable structure for us. Okay, any clarity, guys, till here? Do you have any clarity? Any doubts so far? Okay. Anyone any doubt so far? So our work is what? Mostly managing the infrastructure, maintaining these tools, and building this pipeline automation, because all tools we need to integrate and put it here. So don't worry, only when you get a scratch product you'll get this one, but otherwise once you go a company already everything will be done. But you'll get a chance, like new tools will be coming, new upgrades will be coming in this tool. Let's suppose today Nexus is 2.3, tomorrow 4. Nexus will come, which will be need to upgrade again. You require the skills, don't worry, the skills will be lost. Everything you're going to learn here, it will be used in your company. Everything you'll be going to use, that skill will be admired. Okay. And there is very demand, very high demand for this one. Okay, very high demand for this course in the market. Every company is opting DevOps now, and they require a developing DevOps engineer jobs. Okay, fine. Any clarity, guys? Any doubts? Anything you have? Fine. And this is how the architecture looks. I told about teams, right? 4 different teams here: operation, developers, and everything. And this is how the real time flow goes. Once the developer write the codes, the code is checked in the GitHub, then it go to Maven, then you'll store in your Nexus or JFrog, and finally Jenkins is used for automation. Okay, using these tools also a company can build a product. Okay, and finally they'll have your security. Sonar Cube is mandatory because code quality is important. And this JUnit, MUnit, Selenium used by QA people. We don't need to worry. They will work on it. Okay. And finally, you'll get your end-to-end project. Okay. Finally, you before end-to-end, you have your Ansible. This Ansible is used for automation, and this is most powerful tool in the market for automating your complete installation activities. Okay. And then finally comes your end to it. It looks little bit of critical, but it's not critical. In continuous planning, these people will be business team will be assigning your tickets. Then your code and code development will start, and finally we'll be storing the code in GitHub. Then we will be running the code with your Maven, integrating with Jenkins. Finally we store it in Nexus. Then we'll go to Sonar Cube. QA team will be testing its code, and finally using Ansible will be deploying in the production. So this is your VM based architecture. If you want to do in the completely in the machines, then this architecture is used. And if you want to go with Docker Kubernetes, advanced level of infrastructure, then you can use your Docker, where you have pod concepts and you have a Docker concepts. So this is how it goes in the real time. Okay. Finally, your cloud. What is a cloud? Cloud is a service provider. I told you already. Cloud is a service provider which provides the services over the internet on demand. You don't need to wait for some time. Everything is on demand for you, which you can use it over the internet. Okay. And this is the difference between your cloud and on-premise. In the on-premise, what I told, in the large initial purchase, initially you have to maintain the building rent, your infrastructure, your lighting. Okay, your room designing, your labors are required, your system admins are required. Okay, your patches are required, all the long maintenance AMCs are required, servicing is required. And then limited geographical region, one data center maintenance is difficult. How do you maintain a disaster recovery for this? How do you make a backup of this data center? Already maintaining one is very costly, where a new data center will come. There is where people started opted to cloud, where all in one, so no upfront investment, you don't need to have a data center, room, building, everything. Okay, low ongoing cost, simply using the services, paying for what there is, and focus on innovation. Now instead of maintaining data center, you'll focus more on the application side, your automation side, and flexible capacity. You can have how much capacity you want. If you want to increase capacity, again you need to purchase the machines, again you need to do the installation, again you need to have the internet connection, everything. This is a difficult task. Then there is where, and this is globally, you can use this globally from anywhere, but here it has a restrictions. You have to have a proper network access to this one. So to avoid this, people are jumping into cloud, and cloud is becoming famous nowadays. Okay. And cloud is nothing but, again it is same as your on-premise. In the what you use in the on-premise, how your firewalls are called security groups, your administration are called identity access management. Okay, your databases are given different name, your machines are on-premise servers are called now Amazon EC2 machines. Only thing, naming convention is same, but the end of the base is what? Linux. Everything can be done in Linux, can be achieved here. Okay, everything can be done. And these are your core services which we'll be going to learn. Okay, all your compute, network, storage, database, which we're going to learn as part of this course. Fine. Okay. and accelerating career in DevOps. First is gaining the knowledge. Second thing, understand the proper roadmap. Okay, in case you want to get certified, you can get certified. And very important, know your salary before you make your career. Very important. First, you need to know your salary, because salary is the end of the day. What is it is going to be. Okay, and understand what market is demanding now, that you can understand. And this is a roadmap if you want to learn. First, the Linux basics are required. Then the source code Git management. Then your Maven. Then your SonarQube is required, then your deployment, which will come for a Nexus and your Tomcat, and finally monitoring services and cloud services. This is how the roadmap goes on, which we have in a syllabus. And finally, this is the basic salary. You can still go and check in the uh, websites of online. You'll get this detail. Okay. And finally, if you want to do some certifications, you have different certifications, but not mandatory. Okay, do not do certifications immediately. First one, work for minimum 2 to 3 years, then go for certification. You will make some career progress. If you want to apply for a team lead position, manager position, then this certification will help. But initial days not required. Same way, you have a AWS certification for your AWS engineer, solution architect, and your solution associate level, right? Associate level is there, and final systems. This all things are available here. Fine. So, any questions, guys? Any questions you have? Okay. Any questions you have? Now we good. Okay. Any doubts?
Yes.
Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Sagar.
Thank you. If any doubts, any questions, you want one more session, we're happy to hear to provide you a session. Okay. So when the classes will start, how it will start, they will inform you over the your WhatsApps or your emails, whatever you registered, right? You'll get it there. Any more doubts, any more clarity, guys, you require? Because one fact is that I can't cover everything in the demo. This demo only high level I can give you, but the course will be very detailed. Every notes, every document which we are creating, it's what we execute here. Everything is executed. All your videos will be given in a proper order. Fine. So, and there is no rush for a timeline. We will be teaching you slowly, because our goal is you should understand and crack a job. Okay, that we can achieve it. Fine. So that is what we are here. Okay, fine. Any other clarity, guys, apart from this course? Any other doubts? Course length will be minimum 2 months. Minimum 2 months. Okay, I can't take 45 days. I'll not tell 45 days. Okay, and that will be minimum 2 months, and there will be a buffer of 10 days. Buffer of 10 days will be buffer. That means 2 months, 10 days before. Minimum I require 60 to 70 hours to close this course. Okay, okay, minimum, like I say 60 70, but it will reach to 90. Don't worry, but will be maximum 2 months, maximum 2 months, and buffer is 10 days. Okay, buffer is 10 days, because some things we have to repeat it again for you. Sometimes we want to repeat. Also, I'll be keeping a doubt session, like a clarification session in one class, where we will be clarifying all the doubts. Every day we'll clarify doubts. Still, I'll giving you extra time where you can clarify and get the doubts clarified. Okay, so I don't have a rush, but minimum is 2 months, guys. 2 to 2.5 months is minimum. I want a time, because course is very lengthy. We can't jump the course very easily, because everything is detailed. If you see, each and every line is explained you here with the proper bullet points. It is not that simply Kubernetes and Docker I can keep a slide like this, right? One slide I can keep it and say this is the course I'm, but the course content is detailed. Understand the in depth of the course. Okay, fine. Any clarity, guys, apart from this? Shubham, Rahul, Arvind, all good? Anything I missed it which you want me to cover it? Please feel free to ask. Okay, we are happy to help you. All good, guys? Okay, if
Yes,
you
sir.
are
All
good,
good. Thank you.
then sorry.
Yes, sir. All good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, have a good day, guys. See you on the journey of DevOps. Okay, see you soon on the journey of DevOps. Thank you so much for joining this course and having a patience. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you all.